Hi, and welcome to Cutscenes and Cupcakes, the podcast. I'm Marley.
I'm Steph.
I'm Lindsay, and I'm impressed that we remembered to introduce ourselves. Good job, Marley.
That usually doesn't happen.
It was like the only thing I did remember, and now I don't know what else we do in intros, except, we are a podcast about video games, and we rate them in desserts. Because why the hell not?
And again, for like the 17th time in a row, we don't have a dessert.
What did I make last night when we hung out?
We can do no-bake cookies.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I didn't know that was the plan.
You came prepared and we didn't even know.
And I totally ate the rest of them today. No shame.
I had the leftovers that were in a bag. Like I took one and put it in a bag for later. And I had it after work and it like revived me. Like it was one of those ones that you're like, oh, this was 25 health points. Much needed.
But did you eat your Thai food today?
No. I'm going to take it for lunch tomorrow to work.
Yay.
Nice. Marley tried Thai food for the first time yesterday.
Yes, it was tasty.
Good.
You're tasty.
Stop. Anyways,
we're going to talk about Apex today.
Yeah, so that's why you're probably wondering, wait a second, they said their names, but they don't match their little nameplate thing here, if you're watching the video version of this.
Right.
If you're not watching the video version of this, I'll just tell you real quick what our names are. So I put mine down as Bangalore.
And I'm Lifeline.
And I am Wraith.
It's an Apex thing.
They're all characters in Apex. Just trust us.
We were kind of playing yesterday. Well, we were definitely playing yesterday. And we kind of like were looking at our characters and we're like, these are representative of who we are in a way. Like Lifeline is very like spunky and cheery and has pink hair. Bangalore is like very tall and like badass and like tough. And then like Wraith is like the emo crazy one. And I'm like, this is who we are. And if you don't know like, you know, who is which, then you don't know us at all.
Go back to season 1 and start listening from there.
Exactly. I fear that I'm not as emo as I used to be. Like I want to be more punk rock and more emo, but I'm just not. Like I've lost my edge.
I've definitely decided I'd much rather have my child go through like an emo punk rock phase than like a Christian rock phase.
I'll support her either way.
Oh, I will of course support her, but I would much rather go to a punk rock show than like a praise chorus. Just putting that out into the universe.
That's not
like think about like Amberlyn and think about like Reliant K.
My mom today at dinner was like, "Did you know Switchfoot was considered Christian rock?" And I'm like, "I did."
They're very, very spiritual people.
And so was Skillet. I didn't know Skillet.
I didn't know Skillet was. I can't say I've listened to a lot of Skillet though.
I haven't either, but I do know who they are, and I don't think many people know that they're Christian rock.
Well, remember our old favorite band that was Christian Crunk?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Family Force 5. I wonder what they're doing with their lives now.
Oh, Family Force 5.
I think they still call each other Crouton and
Chapstick
and
Nadaddy was there one?
Yeah, I think so.
That was one, and we're missing like it's like the generator or something. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember what they called it.
From the land where the mullet attacks.
Oh my goodness! Now I need to go listen to the Family.
I don't know if I do.
It's so fun though.
It is.
Anyways,
I'm going to live concerts.
Yeah.
Me too.
That would be amazing.
But we're getting through this pandemic, people. Like, we're strong.
We have had 3 out of 6 vaccinations, so that's a thing that's happening.
That is a thing. Yeah. As a group, we are half vaxxed.
That is true.
Hey there.
Political opinions not invited.
Yeah, we don't. Please don't. Like we
Yeah.
don't care what you guys have to say about vaccinations or not or whatever. Like we're not telling you which way or one or the other either. Like just
Yeah.
we're not here to talk about that.
We'll just
Well,
say
more
do your
controversial.
thing
I'm
and play
pregnant
video
and I've
games.
gotten vaccinated, so
That what?
No.
Oh,
I'm pregnant and people have opinions on that. So
Oh my goodness.
anyway,
So what
what
are
do
we
you-
here to talk about?
Apex.
Apex Legends.
Who are we? Apex. What do we want? All the supplies.
Pretty
Lindsay,
much.
Will you transition?
Yes. Apex is a free-to-play first-person shooter battle royale video.
No!
What?
Let's dive in.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
You knucklehead.
I forgot like my purpose in life, which is to say
You
Apex
big,
Legends, let's dive in.
you big galupa.
I'm not a galupa.
Blake and I watched Mighty Joe Young like a year ago. And that's a line in it, and we just call each other galupas ever since.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah,
Joe,
sure.
the big ape, was like almost dead, and then he came back to life, and someone's like, "Oh, Joe, you big galupa." Don't go back and watch Mighty Joe Young; it doesn't hold up.
That's
Oh,
nice. Let me read this description.
You
Which
don't
I
want me
pretty
to
much
talk
already
about
got
Mighty
through.
Joe Young anymore.
No, I mean that's your other podcast. Apex Legends is a free-to-play first-person shooter battle royale video game developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by EA. It was announced in 2019 and released on the following day. It is part of the Titanfall universe. So if you are familiar with Titanfall, you're probably familiar with Apex. If you're familiar with Apex, you might be familiar with Titanfall. Titanfall was like years ago. But yes. Anyway. Yeah,
EA is a
so
huge-
we have played this game a little bit.
Yeah.
Enough.
We've even streamed
gotten a
it.
taste. We've streamed it. We've given it a few hours.
We
Mhm.
formed opinions.
We've formed opinions. We've had feelings. We've sworn. We've rejoiced.
We've
We've had
killed.
arguments
We've
about
killed.
it.
We've killed and we've revived. And then I brought Stephanie back from the dead after she fell off a cliff.
We've also relinquished jump master rights to each other.
He was our jump master of choice.
Well, thank you.
Yes, the one time that me and Steph were playing and I was the jump master and it was me and Steph in a random and I totally took us like right into like a hole and we died and I was like, never again. Never again.
And the guy who was with you, like the rando, was just like noobs. Like
These noobs.
or maybe he was super new himself and he was just like, oh, this seems like a good spot. Maybe not. Like
Whee!
this game is fun. Yeah. What
so-
did we think?
Apex Legends I was going to do a little story.
Oh,
It takes place, like you said, in the Titanfall and Titanfall 2 universe, which depicted a war between the militia and interstellar manufacturing company in various habitable
habitable.
planets
Habitable?
far from Earth, dubbed the Frontier. In Apex, this war has been over for years, and both the militia and IMC have withdrawn from the Frontier. The Outlands, region on the periphery of the Frontier, has seen a large influx of settlers looking for new opportunities. So pretty much it's kind of, it feels very Hunger Games-y to me. You are launched off into a world where you have to get all the supplies and kill all the other people.
And like instantly you have the choice of like, okay, do I get supplies or do I just run and find a good place to like hide and get supplies? The answer is just go get your supplies as soon as you can.
Yeah.
But in that way, it's Hunger Gamesy. Do I kill PETA? Do I let him live? Do we just kill each other?
You either killed or be killed or get killed.
It's
Nope. You either kill or be killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do not spare the enemy in this game.
No, because they will not spare you.
No mercy.
No, those little 14-year-old kids playing Apex, they will show you no mercy.
They are vicious. And they taught us our
And they're
lesson.
better than us, and that's frustrating.
Except here's the thing though. Would you guys say that the audience for Apex are those little 14-year-old kids, or are they all still on Fortnite?
I think
it's half and half.
I think it's an older crew.
I think it is too.
I think it could be an older crew, but I wouldn't. I can definitely see a 14-year-old playing it.
Like
right,
like 60, 70-year-old players.
Yeah,
like, I think everyone
around our age
are elderly.
Well, and it's like I know of a few different of our extended friends who play Apex like on a regular basis. Like they have like their squads. I'm talking about Erica's husband. Like they like get together and they play it for hours. And it's funny because we'll like be playing games with Erica and you can hear her husband in the other room like shouting. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, my husband's playing Apex."
So and we're like,
I thought Apex was a car game before I
Did you think it was Rocket League?
I think I thought it was similar to Rocket League. I don't know why I had that idea in my mind.
Maybe because like it's the 4 letters Apex, FIFA.
FIFA is a soccer game.
You're right. Oh my gosh.
You thinking Forza?
Yeah, Forza.
Is Forza racing?
Forza's the racing, yeah.
Oh my gosh. This shows you how out of touch I am with both racing and sports.
We know
these are things I don't do.
Sports games.
Bro games.
Woo-hoo.
I will give this to Apex though. It's pretty like user friendly. Like you can learn how to play it really, really quickly. The tutorial is very short.
Yeah.
Very, digestible. The controls are pretty like intuitive, I would say. It's just a matter of not getting killed. It's a matter of being good at battle royale first-person shooters.
Well, and I think you have to play it a lot so that you can be familiar with the gunnery.
Yeah.
The supplies that you can get, especially like the grenades and like all the ammo you need, all the armor and gear you can get.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can do to build up your weapon to be very powerful.
Well, and also, like, when we were playing the other day, when we all kind of first got the game, and we were playing with some of our other friends too, like, I didn't personally play the tutorial, so maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I just watched it, but then I was also kind of on my phone. But, like, did it even really tell you, like, how to find the best gear and stuff? Like, because I feel like you walk, like in the game, you walk up to like a pod and there's like a whole bunch of gear that you can take. And it's like, how do you know what is the best stuff to take?
Right. They do have a color coding system that makes it a little easier. Like, purple is more rare than blue, therefore it's probably better. Okay. Stephanie just mouthed, I don't know that. But yeah, there is like a color coding system and like other things that make it a little easier to decipher like which gear is good. But at the same time, it's like, as far as guns you get, you're like, okay, here I have my choice of 2 sniper rifles and there's a little description of what they are, but I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if an energy sniper rifle is better or worse than, different type of like a bullet sniper rifle. Yeah. And I guess that just means you need to play it and figure that out.
And when you're in a life or death situation, it's not like you're going to take the time to read each and every description of each and every.
No, like you just got to get your stuff and go.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the hard part too, especially for someone who's so new to this game, is that you are thrown into, you literally jump into this world and I don't know about you guys, but I was like so scared to be like, am I out in the open and someone's just going to come up behind me and just kill me? And I don't have any weapons. I have no idea what I'm doing. Meanwhile, you're also still trying to figure out, okay, what do my controls do? What guns are good? Like, I need supplies. Oh, should I run over there? You know what I mean? Like, you're so caught up in like, what do I do? that you're kind of in this like panic mode and you don't take the time to really read what gun is good. You kind of just grab and go.
Right.
And so it probably wasn't until after I had played a few rounds that I really started noticing, oh, hey, there's a color coding system here. It's like, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. Because like I feel like they don't tell you that.
I can't remember if they do or don't in the tutorial, but if they did, I definitely skipped over it because I had to learn that just like the way you did. Or I'm like, oh, okay, like purple weapon, that makes sense. Like that's probably pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and you can like see what you have equipped, like in your bottom right corner, you're like, oh, this gun has like orange highlighted on it. So if I come across a pile of ammo, I pick up all the orange.
Right, exactly. The color coding is the color coding is helpful. But yeah, I think it just takes a few or a good couple dozen times to play through where you get to know your gear and your preferences. I did enjoy the sniper rifles. I enjoyed the sniping. I got a few good hits on a few people a couple times. That's my track record. I didn't kill anyone with the sniper rifle, but I definitely got some pretty like long range hits, which is very satisfying.
I think I got one killed out of like the few times we played. So I'll take it.
You should take it. I think I got 2 or 3.
You got 4, Lindsay.
I got 4.
Yeah, you got 4. I got 2. Lindsay, or Seth
I'm
got
essentially
1.
Jason Bourne in this game.
Essentially.
Yes. I don't know. We had this debate when we like very first started playing Apex, and it was really entertaining debate, but I was very much on the side of the argument that this game Apex is very much like Overwatch. And Stephanie was like on this other side saying like, oh, hell no, it's nothing like Overwatch. And like for me, the way that I see that it's like Overwatch is like you have these characters who have specific abilities and you go and you fight other people. And yes, you can pick up weapons and you can't really do that in Overwatch. You already have the stuff that you need.
Right, but you have your loadout and stuff.
But yeah, but essentially like, and also like kind of the animation and just kind of the feel of it reminded me a lot of Overwatch. But then as we debated more and more, I was like, okay, fine. Let's all agree that Apex is more like Fortnite than it is like Overwatch.
There you go. That's one of my biggest complaints, I guess, about Apex. Not complaints, but I'd much rather get in the middle of things and do hand-to-hand combat. And so, like, weaponry is not my thing. Like, I don't care too much. But you can't, like, I don't think melee combat is huge in Apex.
I did kill a guy from bashing him to death because I had no other weapons.
I feel like you're going to get schmoed by, like, big guns in this game.
Yeah.
And it's a very quick thing. I don't know.
They're quick rounds compared to Overwatch.
Rounds. And we don't have to compare it to Overwatch.
Oh, but we do.
It's very different.
But I'm just saying, like, from a first-person shooter that you frequent, there is a difference in, like, what you enjoy, which is you don't necessarily seem to enjoy Battle Royale as much as you do, like, team versus.
Arena shooters.
Arena shooter game.
Arena shooter, yeah.
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 And when I play Overwatch, I don't choose characters with guns either. That's not my style of gameplay. So
Are you usually a healer of some sort?
Yeah, I'm usually Moira. And if I'm not Moira, I'm Varia. And she has a gun, but she's a heavy. So I don't know. Maybe if I would have played around with some of the characters more, been a heavy player.
Hanzo.
And I feel like
Lifeline and Apex, who's a healer. So
Well, and I feel like that's another thing too, is that this game gives you, like, you have some starter characters that you can pick from. And then I guess as you play more or do certain events or unlock things, challenges and achievements or whatever, I think you can get more characters.
Right.
But of the starting ones, I mean, regardless, they do have specific abilities. And like, yes, you can like go into the menu at the beginning and like look at them and stuff. But I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I get into the battle, I forget all about that. I forget all about the unique abilities. And because I'm so concerned with just getting some good guns and some ammo and trying to get to like the ring so that you don't get, you don't get cut off from it.
Another Hunger Games callback.
And I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I totally forget that I have like these crazy awesome moves. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like the game doesn't, I feel like they don't emphasize on that enough as they should, because they have these characters, they have names, they have like these cool costumes that you can unlock and stuff. And maybe it's just because we've not played it a whole lot, but I feel like the focus isn't there. And I feel like it should be.
Yeah. And that could be our fault too for not playing Titanfall before playing Apex too.
I don't know if Titanfall has the same characters though. I don't think they do. Because I think it's just in the same universe.
Okay, that makes sense. And looking at the character list online, and they have badass characters.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
And of course, I'm just looking at mostly the females because that's
what we do.
Yeah. But they're like really cool, like, and they have a variety of types of humans and body shapes and nationalities.
Yeah, and I love that.
We all appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not all just like these skinny girls with boobs, like they actually have like women with real, that like, I shouldn't say look real because it's cartoon, it's like it's animated, but like
they're more like proportional.
Yeah, and like they're curvy, because
nice to see.
A lot of women look like that.
Which is something that I think actually attracted me to this game in a way. Like, I remember being at a Barnes & Noble forever ago when Apex came out, and I remember seeing like a few of the characters. I wish I could remember who it was. But I saw a few of the characters like on the cover, and I was like, wow, like, like, again, Stephanie, I'm sorry, but I'm like, oh, that reminds me of Overwatch. Like, we have some good character diversity. We have some good, like,
I can agree with that.
Like styles and stuff and different types of people. And, like I appreciated that about the game. And that was the only thing I knew about Apex until like a week ago. So, but yeah, I think they did a really good job about that. I just wish they had more personality and more lore. Maybe they have maybe if it's like Overwatch, they have like a graphic novel or comics or something, but not that I know of.
They definitely do have some lore. And we did not take the time to dig into the lore. And that is on us.
Yeah. We have a lot of games, guys.
It's true. And I think that's something that we've all learned, and I've learned especially where I like start talking crap about something and then I kick myself in the ass because later in life I then get into that thing and learn more about it and I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have talked crap. Like, when you know more about something, you get more interested in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we only have so many hours in the day and so much time to devote to things, but we need to, like, if we had time to put into it, if we took the time to put into Apex, maybe we would be more, not that we're not interested, but be ready to put more time into it too.
But the question is, do we want to? Because for me, like, if there was a campaign, I'd be all in. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's check this out. I want to get good at it. I might dabble in the online, but I'm definitely going to focus on the campaign and, leveling up and, learning a story, learning about a character, ideally learning about all of them.
A story mode definitely would be really cool with Apex, because then I feel like I would appreciate the characters more in the online play.
Right.
And I mean, I feel like we had this exact same thought about Overwatch.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring
Lore.
that up.
We want lore.
I mean, there is a lot of lore in Overwatch, and you do have to make an effort to get it outside of the gameplay. But that's why, like, so many people are so excited for Overwatch 2 is because it's supposed to be campaign-based and not arena first-person shooter. So hopefully...
I'm also excited for that.
Yeah, hopefully that will be a thing that happens in the relative future, but who the hell knows? And that could be a thing that would be great for Apex too, to have, because people crave stories and campaigns, and maybe not everybody, but I feel like they do so well.
Yeah.
Well, and I think if you're going to take the time to create these characters and like give them like personality and make them so individual, you should have a story that goes along with it. Like, sure, you know, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to think of a really good example. But I haven't played a lot of these games, so someone's probably going to yell at me for saying this, but like something as such as like Battlefield, you know, where you're just like you're a nameless nobody. You're just a soldier, army. You know? Yeah, you're a soldier, army guy, whatever, and you are dropped into this like arena and you fight other people. Like you don't have a name, you know what I mean? Like, sure, there might be a campaign mode associated with those games, but for the most part, people don't ever play those. Like even with like Call of Duty, there's a campaign mode, I guess, but do people really play that? I don't know. Again, people are probably yelling at me right now, and that's fine, but that's what I mean. It's like with Apex, you have these characters, and I feel like there's a lot of potential there. And I kind of actually, this sort of reminds me of our conversation with the Avengers game, is that there was too much online play and not enough story, and there needed to be a good balance between the two. And I feel like games like Apex and Overwatch, where they have like this basis of characters, there's definitely potential for that. Like there is room for that, and they should do that because people would love it. I think it would have really great reception.
Well, and there's enough battle royale games that don't have, like Fortnite, that don't have like the character. Like you can customize your character so much. It's not like you're choosing a pre-made character who has a story behind them.
Yeah.
Unless you pick like the Star Wars characters.
Or Kratos.
Or Kratos, yeah, but that's its own thing entirely. Yeah. That's just a skid, you know.
I don't think any of us are huge battle royale players.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think it's what you said before. We're just not willing to put in the time to really get good at them, to really be able to enjoy them. I think if we have all of that time to be able to put into a video game, we'd rather do something that was a little more story based.
Yeah.
Maybe we could start having experts on our show, like a battle royale expert. We could get Ninja on our show, or someone better than Ninja.
Anyone is better than Ninja.
Not to shit on Ninja, but
I'm not
he wouldn't work with women.
Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We did. It is. It was a fun game. I definitely, like, I wouldn't mind pulling it up every once in a while, but it's definitely not going to be my new go-to. And in fact, I really haven't been gaming much in general. So it's definitely probably not going to be my go-to, because the one night a week that I play games, I'm probably going to play something else.
Yeah.
It's true. I don't see myself really playing it by myself.
Oh, it's also huge. It takes up a big chunk on the PlayStation.
Yeah, the storage. Yeah. I was like,
I thought you meant like the maps. I'm like, the maps or the the file size.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. The graphics of Apex.
Yeah, they're great.
They're giving us very like a Far Cry New Dawn vibes.
Yeah, with some of the landscapes, like
Yeah.
the foliage.
The flowers.
And even just the bright colors, like I mean, and I get Overwatch vibes too from these, like it's very bright colors, very animated, but also realistic. Like I don't know, like they do a really good job of doing that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the map does have a good variety of different types of places.
Terrain too, like it varies and it's really cool.
And yeah, you find a whole bunch of your little pods of things all over. So it's not hard to find stuff. It's just hard to know what stuff you want to spend your time gathering.
Mhm.
Especially when someone's raining down with gunfire and bullets and death and destruction and whatnot.
Well, and there's even been people who kill us like our whole squad in an instant, and you're like, how? How did they do that? I met up with a guy just a second ago, and I unloaded a whole entire like magazine on him, and it did nothing to him. And then here this other guy comes along, and then your whole squad is dead like that. You're like, what?
I wonder if they actually have tactically planned it out. They're like, okay, you stand there, you stand there, you stand there. We'll bring them all together. We'll throw a grenade, or like whatever it is. But yeah, it does seem like when you go down, like you go down hard and fast.
That is something I do think that this has. It's very tactical, and strategic. So if you have more of a strategic mind and know your squad, and like we know each other, but we're not
super familiar with each other.
Who are you guys again?
Marley did use the term flanking when we were playing it, and I was impressed by that.
It was impressive.
I just don't think that we're like super into that tactical, like, hey, you get them from the north, I'll get them from the east. Go, go, go. Machete 400.
6.
I mean, it's just because we don't play a lot of games like this.
Maybe we would have been more like that and more organized instead of just like, there's gunfire, get it.
Yeah, this type of coordination. I mean, I like to think that when we've like played like Red Dead Online, we have some sort of like tactics lens, but I feel like it comes and goes because it really just depends.
Sometimes it's just chaos, but other times we're like, okay, you go that way, I'll go this way. We're going to get him here, and then we're going to use this to get him good, Yeah. And then we're going to dynamite him after we parlay with him so his horse kicks him off.
Yes. So I don't know. You're right, though. We don't typically do a lot of like the tactical strategic stuff.
I played the Division recently, the original Division, not Division 2. And I did find myself saying stuff like that, but that's because the person I play that with, hey, Steven, is very intense and very like tactical himself. Like he was in the military, so he'll be like, okay, like charge in. All right, here we go. Like, okay, they're flanking us. Watch your 6 kind of thing. And I'll just be like, all right, it's on your 3. It's 3. It's on your 3. Like, go get him. Like, things like that. Like I found myself talking that way, but that's because I was a Division agent at the moment. But I don't even remember where I was going with this or what we were talking about.
We're not tactical.
We're not tactical, but sometimes I can be.
Yeah, I mean, same here.
I could not. That is not in my wheelhouse of things I do.
I mean, I like to pretend to be. I mean, especially when I like said like, "Okay, let's flank him."
Because flank is just a word of like go around and get him on the side,
Marley comes from a military family.
I do. But yes, okay. Why don't we give our ratings? I think we're ready for that.
I just wanted to make one last point. Okay. Going back to characters, I really liked the voice acting. Like, I think the voice acting was really talented and, intriguing, and like the little bits that you hear are just like, oh, hello, But anyway, that's all I had.
It seemed very small amounts of voice acting.
Yeah, just phrases.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did enjoy what I heard. So I know they got some talented people on there. I hope.
Right. Who wants to go first with their grading?
I will.
Go for it. Yeah.
So yes, today we're using no-bake cookies, which if nobody knows what that is, I will just quickly explain. So they're basically like these chocolate and peanut butter and like oats kind of like mixture. And you like make them like warm over the stove, which is why you don't bake them in an oven. And then they just come out like all gooey and you just kind of like let them set for a little bit and then they're really tasty, squishy little morsels.
Blobs. Wonderful.
Yeah, they look like little poops, but they're delicious. So yes, no bake cookies. I feel like I need to give it a neutral 3. No bake cookies, because I didn't hate it, but I didn't really love it. I think kind of like similar to kind of how I feel about like Fortnite is that I don't really see myself picking up this game a whole lot, but the times that I played it, it was enjoyable enough. And like, it was just kind of some good times just to kind of, run around and just try to survive, And so I think that like, it was still like enjoyable the times that we did play. And I mean, if there were a group of friends who were like, let's play Apex, I'd be like, sure. But again, I don't see myself picking it up by myself. Like if I have time to sit down and play a video game, I'm going to play something else. Yeah. And I don't want to also give it a total like bad review grade because I don't think it was that bad. I think that there's definitely a lot of potential in this game. And I see why people like it, so much. You just need to put more time and effort into it, which I just don't want to.
Right.
So I give it just a neutral 3.
That's good. Do you want me to go next?
Do it.
Okay, I'm going to give this game a 3.5 no-bake cookies, which is a good helping of no-bake cookies. And it's because I think it is a good game. I think it's well designed, well done, put together. Gameplay is solid. Characters are solid. It's just not my kind of game. But I would recommend it to somebody who's like, oh, I really want to get into like something like PUBG or like a battle royale, but I don't want it to be, this or this or this. I'd just be like, oh, like you could consider playing Apex because, it's I think one of the better of the battle royales that are free to play right now. Mm-hmm. And it's free. Like give it a shot because it's free.
Yeah.
But but I like Marley said, I don't see myself picking it up and playing it much more just because it's not my type of game. But yeah, I think they have a pretty solid thing going for them. Yeah,
I think I'm going to do a 3.25 right in between the two of you.
I see.
It was fun and it was pretty and it was, the rounds went by really fast. So you could play a bunch of different rounds, in one sitting and that's fun.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I'm going to play a game-ish like this, and I'll give you the ish, Marley, I'm going to play Overwatch as my go-to game. You get more gameplay out of it in my case because I got killed really quickly and I don't have to worry about having to get my own guns. So yeah, but it was fun. That's what I got.
All right.
Nice.
Well, let's do some not a sponsors.
Yes. So this is the part of the show where we put at the end of it now.
Yes.
And we just kind of talk about some just different things that we're into right now.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. Could be all sorts of things. A book, a podcast, a food, a thought. I don't know.
I forgot what I was going to do. So one of you has to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Mine is kind of a self-plug in a way, and I'll show you how. But I'm going to do the TTRPG Mouse Guard. We just finished it on the Let Us In, and we just did like a little campaign of it. It was just a few episodes long. Go listen to it. And it's just really fun and cute. Like we didn't do a ton of the combat, but I did research the combat system, and it's like a little confusing, like a little like rock paper scissorsy in a way. Like it's kind of fun and simple. It'd be really good to play with kids, I think. But it's just like it just takes a second to get like wrap your head around it for some reason. Because you're like, oh, this is simple. Like, shouldn't we be rolling tons of dice and adding it up and comparing the numbers? But instead, it's just like you can fight, you can flee, or you can hide, or you can reposition yourself. And I'm like, oh, like that's it. And then like the bad guy chooses the same thing out of those options, and then you compare the two. But yeah, the combat was fun. We have a great DM, Erica. She or GM in this case, she was really good at putting together a really cute campaign. It was a little role play heavy, and I like it for that reason. But I mean, you guys can obviously customize your own games to however you like, and that's another thing about it. It just had a lot of like leeway to do what you want, and it had like a red wallish setting, which was just like I said, cute. It was really cute.
Yeah, Erica put a lot of time and energy and effort into the campaign. She did a really good job.
Definitely. Yeah. I know. I've been listening to it too. It's really enjoyable.
Oh, good. Yeah, go listen to the Let Us In podcast.
Awesome. Okay, I'll go next. So mine is a TV show. It's a little one that's only in its first season. And it's called WandaVision.
Oh, which one?
WandaVision?
What's it called?
Long Division.
Oh.
So WandaVision is kind of a interesting little side TV show from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you haven't heard of it. And it takes place like after the events of Endgame. And it's about Wanda Maximoff and Vision. And it's really just kind of odd at first because from spoiler alert, but in 2 movies ago, Infinity War, Vision dies, because he has, they need the Infinity Stone out of his head to, Thanos and him and his finger snap. Anyways, long story short, all of a sudden here's Wanda and Vision, and you're like, wait a second, this is really weird because we know Vision's dead. What is going on here? But then they're in this world where it's like these like sitcom settings and these little tropes and things, and it kind of shifts through time. You start off in the 50s and you kind of make your way to modern day. So like each episode covers a different time period. And it's really, really cool to be like, hey, this reminds me of Seinfeld. This reminds me of I Love Lucy, or, just like all these like different sitcoms that we all have come to know and learn. I mean, even if you haven't seen the sitcoms from like way back in the day, like you recognize the tropes, like it because it's just been a part of pop culture for decades. But anyways, you kind of just, I don't want to give any spoilers away because you really should just go watch it. But there's just a lot of different like odd things happening here in these little sitcoms. And you can tell that like things are not what they should be with Wanda and Vision in their life. And so they kind of start to realize that too, that they're like, something's not right here. And just like weird things start happening around town. And again, like each episode is a new decade. And so it's just kind of like, does anybody notice this, And it's just, but at the same time, like Wanda still has her powers. She can still like do teleportation and different things, as well as like Vision. Like he still looks like his robot self, but he can also like disguise himself with like a human face when he like goes to work, So it's really, really interesting. And if you guys like sitcoms, if you like Marvel, if you also just kind of want to see a fun, like new side of Marvel, especially like in TV form, then I highly recommend it. It's really enjoyable.
I have one concern. Is the series finale just going to be like we pan in on Wanda and Wanda, we pan in on her and she's just like, and I'm so happy to be with you, to be with you, to be with you. And it backs up, and then she's like in a straitjacket.
No, it's not that at all.
Okay, good. Because that's what I've been worried about this entire time. I'm like,
no,
I don't want to see her crazy trauma dream. Like,
no, but
This isn't
at the
Little
same
Hope.
Oh yeah. But at the same time, like something to keep in mind for you guys and for any of our listeners who are interested in this show, give it a few episodes. Like really, there's only 9 episodes in the first season. That is not a big commitment at all. Just watch it all.
Okay.
And like the first couple episodes, you're like, what is going on here? This is weird. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay.
It'll all come together.
Okay, I believe you. Steffers?
I totally forgot. I had a really good one that I was like, oh, these guys will think that's funny. But I forgot what it was, so I'm going to do something else.
Cool story, Hansel.
I know, right? So my not a sponsor is the app called Capital, which is...
Have you done this before?
I think you have. Like season 1.
I'm really excited about it again because I had like I had to get my one of my side mirrors fixed this week, but I have a category in my Capital called car shit that covered all my repairs and getting my car registered this year. So it was really nice. Like I'm really bad at saving. I just don't do it very well. And so being able to have an app that does it for me and you can set the rules that you want, like my car shit rule is 5% of any check I get that's over $500 or any deposit I get that's over $500. So that's like my big ones, like my paychecks and stuff. 5% just goes straight into my car stuff. They do like roundups. So like whenever I purchase something, it just rounds it up to the nearest dollar. And so like 45 cents or like 2 cents or whatever will go straight into one that's like my Untitled. I think it's just like it's going to be a self-care fund. I think I'm going to use it to pay for a massage this week, actually.
Ooh.
Nice.
And then you can do one like shared ones. Like I have one with Blake that's called House and Baby stuff. And the picture of it is Iggy Azalea. No, it's Cardi B. I don't know why Blake chose it. So we can save together and we can save for car or house stuff or baby stuff. And one of the rules on that is if I spend money at Target or Taco Bell, I have to put $6 in there. So that saves me from spending money there. Or if I know I'm going to do that, I'm just going to put money straight into that account. So it's nice to have different categories. So I'm organized with what I'm saving for, what the money goes towards. And it does it for me. So I don't have to consciously think, oh, I should put part of this into this account and this account and this account. So it's been really
just
nice.
Ties into your bank account. Like you give your bank account information and then it's just like, oh, we just got a huge deposit. This must be a paycheck. We'll break it down the way she asked us to.
Yes.
Huh.
And then it's really nice because when I do spend the money that I need to, like I'm spending it straight from my bank account, but then I can take the money from Capital and just make a transfer real quick. So I'm putting the money from the savings back in my bank account. So it's worked out really well for me. It's been nice to be able to save with my husband for we did it. That's how we paid for one of our trips for our anniversary last year, I think. So I like it. If you have a hard time saving like I do, try it out. And if you want my code, you'll get $5 for your Capital.
I might take you up on that later.
Yeah.
And then if the listeners want my $5 for my code, let me clarify. You will not get my $5, but you can get the code, which gives us both $5. Then, hit me up.
Cutscenes and Cupcakes is not a multi-level marketing scheme.
No, we're not.
Not fact, yet.
We are
streamers. Other than we're in Utah, which is the holy land of MLMs.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, streamers and dreamers, Marley.
We are streamers. We have a banner floating right below us right now that is saying, hey, guess what? We stream on Twitch. And our handle is what?
doesn't say that.
It says we stream on Twitch.
Hey.
It doesn't say, hey, guess what?
Hey, we hit 100 followers on Twitch.
Yes, so we're Cutscenes Pod on Twitch, and we just hit 100 followers, so yay! Yeah, and also, don't just follow, but if you want, you can subscribe, because we are Twitch affiliates.
We sure are.
And we are streaming. We stream 3 times a week, you guys. So please go to our social media to be able to look up our schedule. That's where we post it at the top of each week. We typically stream like Monday, Tuesdays, Saturdays, kind of give or take, So just make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to find all of those updates.
We also have a Gmail. Some email.
If you want to give us feedback, you can send an email to cutscenesandcupcakes@gmail.com.
We think we're so funny.
We're funny, but it also makes me sad that we still don't have an email yet.
Someone send us an email. Gosh dang it.
Emails from Wooshka all
Maybe
the time.
we just don't want the joke to die. Like,
oh, this is the content you're here for.
It's true.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Let us know what you thought about Apex. I know it wasn't our type of game, and I know that kind of sucks if like this is your kind of game. So tell us why you loved it. Tell us why we should give it more of a shot than we did. Tell us if you didn't like it. Let us know what your thoughts were. Let us know what we were wrong about, what we're right about, why you think I'm the best cupcake. Tell us all the things.
I like that we're cupcakes now. Like that's been a thing for a little while where we just refer to ourselves as a cupcake. Like, I'm the best cupcake, or
like
the cupcakes
are the cupcakes.
Yeah, like it's kind of like we're the Beatles.
Hey,
that was ever since we joined Stolen Droids, because they called us the cupcakes, and we were like so offended by that.
No, we are not desserts. We are women. Here's more.
But then we kind of
treat.
Yeah.
We're sweet, attractive, come in wrappers. Yes. All of the above. But until next time, my friends, go grab a friend.
Eat some cupcakes.
And play some
games. We are so good at it.
This has been a Stolen Droids Media production.